And here we are, Game 1, Saints versus Indiana University. This is going to be a best of 5 to start us off. Best of 5s all through the day today as we move in through this bracket. But as I said, the Saints are, let's just say they're looking for a little bit of redemption this week in the CCA Open. I mean, last week made, realistically, the losers run of a lifetime. Took
definitely.
it all the way through that losers bracket, reset, took it to that Game 10 against GVSU and lost in one of the most heartbreaking games I've ever seen.
Definitely.
It's a blunder on the ball, a 1-0, and then that was that final score line there. And GVSU were going to be the champions of that second CCA Open. Saints, though, starting off with a demo off of Ramen, and they're going to get a little bit of pressure in, but so far, no crazy plays to note from either team.
Oh, no. Mostly just ping pong right now, sending the ball back and forth, trying to get a feel for how each team kind of plays and centers themselves around the ball. But Spood's going to get a nice pass to Christian here, and it's going to get off the post and sent back out to the middle. And Christian and Big E are going to go for the, I like that name, Big E on the side of Indiana. Tied as well, and I believe our third member is Pablo. So Rotman's going to send that right to the middle, but it's going to get contested by Big E once again. A lot of playing with the ball here in the center. We're not really seeing either team get too much going. Saints are getting nice opportunities to get the ball deep in the zone, but they just really aren't able to make anything happen.
Yeah, we saw kind of that one shot from Spoods that ended up going wide off of that post there, and that's really been the only prime opportunity from this team so far. We are seeing the Saints, a lot of demos have come through. I think they found 4 or 5 demos this game so far, at least 4, if I'm not mistaken, but I think the issue is they're finding these demos and just clearing it out into a corner, and then you've got somebody like Tide or someone like Biggie who's just clearing it up high.
Yeah, they're not able to take advantage of their demolitions. But Biggie's going to bring that right in, and he's going to get stopped by Spoods. It's going to get sent wide, and Spoods is going to try and clear the ball out.
Yeah, tries to show some mechanics there, Biggie, right into 2 defenders. He's not able to squeak it through, but a good try, if anything. Indiana, having not found too many shots, you get in there with a close range kind of carry like that, sometimes you'll be able to squeak it right past the defender like Biggie right there. Squeaks it right past the defender. Top corner after a setup. Yeah, Tied. Oh, it's the bump from Pablo.
Yeah.
That
Pablo
actually secures that one. Pushes Christian just a little too deep in the net, and you've got so many different options. You can send it top left, bottom right, top right. Biggie has so much of that net available to be able to make that shot. That's 1-0 off the start. Try to make it 2-0 Biggie. A little bit far to the right there.
Yeah, that was just an amazing job by Pablo knocking Christian out of position, because that was an easy ball for Christian to save, and he just wasn't able to move because he was flying through the air.
Yeah, it's just that second player, that second attacker who ends up really being crowd control in the crease or inside of that net ends up being so crucial to so many goals. We see the Saints do it too. Well, they'll send in Christian, or Spoods is going to knock that final shot in, and then you've got that third player, that second player just in the crease on bump duty, on demo
playing
duty.
disruption.
Yeah, whatever that it ends up becoming, because even if you don't find the demo, the bump is usually good enough, especially if you're really in communication with your team. You know exactly where that ball is going to go. You can bump that player right out of the way. But this Indiana squad, after that first goal, have actually shut down a lot of these Saints offensive opportunities. Haven't really been able to find much as the Saints, as Indiana keeps getting these long carries. Biggie out to the middle. Pablo, that's going to be off the backboard. He finds the double touch on himself. Ramen gets a little bit too aggressive there on the defense, and Pablo going to be the one to find the second goal for Indiana University. Ramen just barely below that ball as the defender, but just barely is not good enough.
Yeah.
That's 2-0. Indiana starting off game 1 pretty hot.
Yeah, Indiana they were trying to make the team plays work. It wasn't working, so they got impatient. They said, well, we're just going to bring this in on our own.
Yeah, honestly, Pablo there for that second touch, possibly. It's actually going to be Spoods with that grab. I think Biggie is the only one who can really rotate back for that.
Oh.
What a shot from Christian. Absolutely out of nowhere. This is that setup from the mid that the Saints know and love so much. Christian steals that right off the top of Pablo's car there. I was ready for Pablo just to clear it out. I did not see Christian at all playing in that crease. Just that kind of that observer angle there. Christian flies out of nowhere. makes it only a 1-goal deficit. And with a minute remaining, the Saints, yes, you have to make something happen, but you're definitely not as concerned as you were a few seconds ago.
Oh, yeah, no. That was a perfect setup by Spoods. Awesome finisher by Christian. And they're going to bring him within 1 goal within striking range, and they're going to keep the pressure on. They know they need to get a goal here, or that's going to be it for game 1. And awesome demolition by Ramen, perfectly timed. Spood's going to bring it right back into the zone. They're going to keep the pressure on with only 30 seconds remaining here in game 1.
Out to the middle. Ramen should be able to grab this. The key is you can't let those clears happen. Anytime this ball is going to be in that Saints zone, that blue side of the field, it's just going to waste so much time for them. And IU knows this very, very well. In fact, they're trying to secure that second goal to really bring this game home. Tied, just barely not able to find that one as Spoods in time for the save. A beautiful save from him at the last second there. It's set up towards mid. This is the push you need. Spoods, you have to be able to grab this one off the corner. That ball's going to touch ground. Game 1 going to be headed over to Indiana University.
Yeah, I think the Saints were still asleep here on this Sunday morning because Indiana came out swinging. They were all over the ball. As we can see, we got 9 shots from the side of Indiana, and we actually got 8 shots from the side of the Saints. So, yeah, the Saints really picked it up there in the second part of that game. But I think they need to carry that momentum they had at the end of game 1 into the beginning of game 2 to really kind of bring this series home.
Yeah, it didn't necessarily feel that the Saints were being outpaced or really outshot in the sense of quantity. But I think the biggest issue there, at least for the Saints, was just every time Indiana found one of those shots, it seemed like there was a rebound coming. There was Pablo there to find that second touch or somebody to hit that off of the backboard. Whereas the Saints have had a lot of setups where it's one shot, bounces out to the corner, Pablo or Tide clears it out, and that's kind of the end of the play. Whereas Indiana, I think, was just able to keep their hands on the ball for a little longer, and the Saints spending a lot of time in the corners in that game 1.
Yeah, definitely. As we see, they brought the ball right into the corner again, and Pablo was able to get that demo and carry the ball back into the Saints' end. Get something going for Indiana again. That's going to get stopped at the mid by Pablo, and he's going to actually hold that in the Saints' zone. So Ramen is actually going to carry that back in, and Pablo's going to send it right out again. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of contention deep in the zone here, and no one's really able to get anything going. It was a nice shot by Christian, but Tide was there to stop that.
Ramen might be able to keep this ball in that Indiana zone for a while. Spoods contest right into Biggie's nose there. Christian playing that crease perfectly on the defense. Follow this ball up the side. This is that Christian play we've seen a lot. Tide kind of ready for it. Actually just gets in position to intercept the ball, allows Christian to fly by, force that rotation to happen. Ramen has to be this goalie now for the Saints. He is able to knock one out, but this is what I'm talking about. The save comes through. It's right back to Pablo for another setup. Biggie off the backboard. No third player to really hammer that one home, but Saints, after pretty... Yeah. Honestly, that defensive play, that makes you sweat. Even though there weren't actually too many shots that came out, it was the fact that the ball out to the left, now out to the right. There's another IU player attacking at that ball. You really have to be proactive on the defense there. You really have to shut that down. Spoods flies by that ball. Christian to pick it up. Out from the corner. Biggie makes the play. That's an empty net. Pablo, you find this angle right. You could be able to find it, but 3 Saints barreling back towards the crease there. They're able to make it before that shot can come through.
Yeah, Indiana is really keeping this ball in the Saints' end. As we've seen, the whole first minute and a half, the ball was strictly stuck in the Saints' end. They were finally able to get it out. They couldn't get a shot on net, and Tide sent it right back into the Saints' end, and the Saints are just having really tough time getting that ball cleared for good. Biggie's going to play with it in the corner, but Spoods is going to try and make that push deep into Indiana's zone. He's actually going to center that ball, but no one's going to be there. He's going to center that ball again to Ramen, but it's going to get intercepted by Biggie, and Biggie's going to carry it back into the Saints' end.
Biggie actually finds a nice reset there. Isn't able to continue the carry as he ran out of boost, but there's that setup towards mid. The thing is, though, Saints, I mean, honestly, I've been seeing this every single CCA Open. It's that setup towards mid. That's how they secure the goals, but teams in these top 8s are prepared for that at this point. I think you have to do just a little more. You have to do something else to really secure these goals because you're just going to get contested at that backboard every time, whether it be Tide, whether it be Biggie or Pablo carrying it out like this. Somebody is going to be there for that contest because they're not going to let the Saints just run rampant and get whatever setup they want, especially with how much time the Saints like to take to set up on that backboard. They like those slow air carries from Spoods or from Ramen and then set it up for maybe Christian to come through and hit that final shot on the goal. It's been kind of dead air for a little while. Tide passes out to the corner. This could actually be a good setup here. Might be able to make it past Spoods. Christian burning the last of that boost to secure the save.
Yeah, Christian's going to get that ball right out of the crease at a very monumentary time there. It's a really bad spot for Saints. It's shot after shot for Indiana. Is something going to happen? No, they are going to clear the ball finally, get the pressure off their shoulders a bit, try and make something happen down in Indiana's ends. A nice demolition from Christian, but Tide's going to carry that ball right through the center, and the Saints aren't able to capitalize on anything.
I mean, we're still sitting at 0-0, 1 minute remaining. Neither of these teams have really given an inch on the defense. We haven't even seen that many like nail-biter saves either. There have been some good saves, but a lot of them happen long before the ball even makes it past that crease. Yeah. No goal line nail-biter saves thus far, as both teams playing almost very passive Rocket League in comparison, especially to that first game where we saw a good chunk of demos come out in that first 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. We did just have a nice close opportunity on the Saints goal line there, but it was a beautiful save by Spoods. And they're actually going to play with the ball in front of Indiana's net, but it's going to get sent back out into mid for a contention again.
Spoods off the wall. Christian going to be the player to pick that one up, but this is the issue now. We're just playing corner game, corner game, corner game. Ramen can't be the final hit on that ball to really secure the goal. 3 players rotating out from the Saints. Now you've got this 0-second rally that has to happen. Ramen sets it up towards mid, and Biggie sends it right down towards the crease, especially when it's right in front of your own net like that. Just take it to overtime. Just take the kickoff reset.
Get the reset. Catch your breath.
Yeah.
Kind of go into overtime with a new look on it. Indiana's going to clear this ball into Saints' end, but it's going to get stopped by Ramen. He's going to send that right onto the net, but Pablo's going to stop it.
It's flying up in the air. Spoods, he's going to head it right towards the backboard, but this is what I'm talking about. Whether it be Biggie or whether it be Tide has been a big one on those contests as well. Somebody is just going to be on that backboard ready for the rebound. They pick up the rebound. They take it all the way down the field. Tide is going to be the one to find that goal. This little 50-50 goes pretty well nobody's way as it kind of just pops up in the air. Indiana 1-0, going to take that overtime game. Indiana now 2-0 in the series. Saints kind of backs up against the wall here in reverse sweep position. I mean, don't get me wrong. We saw them reverse sweep, I think, twice last week, if I'm not mistaken.
We did, twice.
Both, once in that grand finals for the reset, once in, I believe it was loser semis there. But yeah, we did see it. CCA Open, let's just say no stranger to reverse sweeps here.
Definitely.
In Rocket League. However, Indiana right now just getting the better of the Saints in very minute situations, but when your teams are dead even for 5 minutes straight, those minute situations are going to be, the difference between a 1-0 overtime victory and a 0-0 end to that game.
Definitely. Yeah, Spoods is going to get the ball going in the middle here. The Saints really need to get off fire burning under their feet kind of thing. They're down 2 games going into game 3, and they know they need to make this happen because they do really not want to be on the side of the losers bracket this early.
The only thing I'm seeing is Indiana is matching the aggression, especially on defense, so perfectly, and on the offense, they just seem to keep finding these opportunities. The Saints, at this point, just cannot hold it together on the defense. Every single time, it's that defender is just a pixel short.
Yeah, Indiana is coming out on fire. As we've seen the first game and the second game. Actually, the first game they got out with an early lead. The second game they were able to secure that in overtime. But as we see game 3, they take that early lead, and hopefully the Saints are able to turn it around because they are carrying this momentum. They just got another great shot. Yeah, bounced off the goal line.
Bar down and out. It happens in Rocket League, but at the same time, seeing these shots come into your net all the time is just taxing on the Saints. They have to be playing solid defense. You almost always have to have 2 players there on that defense. Christian wanted to see if he could follow up on his own lob there. It is going to get pushed out by that IU player, and now all the way back, set up on top of the Saints backboard. Biggie catches it in the air, out towards the middle. Spoods, this could be the follow-up the Saints have been looking for. Not if Pablo's going to be in the air to shut that one down, though.
Yeah, it was great placement by Pablo to get there for that one, because I couldn't see him on our view, and I thought that ball was going to the back of the net. It's a good centering by Pablo, but Spoods is going to send that right out to the corner, and Indiana's not going to be able to make anything happen. We're just clicking down to about 2 minutes here in the 3rd game of the best-of-5 series. Yeah, I've seen both teams come out pretty strong, but Saints, they are not heating up how they are supposed to be.
Oh, 100%. They just haven't found that momentum, and when you haven't found a goal in 2 games either, it does, it starts to take a toll on your mental there, especially just as a team. You're thinking, like, guys, what's going wrong? You have to make these adjustments mid-series, but now your backs are up against the wall. You're in reverse sweep position. Christian finds a demo on the goal line. Could be something to work off of, but not if Biggie is going to return that immediately. Spoods not in time for that one, just a little too deep into that net. I mean, it looked like he had that goal line save. I'm not, honestly, I want to see this replay in slow-mo.
Oh, he's
off
just a
the
bit
post,
too late.
just nails it into the post. I mean, that's what happens. Sometimes you're just a little late on that, but IU, you got to feel confident in this one now.
Oh, yeah.
You're up 2-0. You're already up 2-0 in the series. You're found this 2 goals. All you really need to do is play out exactly how you've been playing, and the Saints are either going to step it up and really match you in these last 2 minutes, or you're going to take this game home. You're going to take this series home as a 3-0.
Yeah, as we see, Indiana's just working great together as a team. Like that goal was a culmination of Biggie's demolition and just tied in Pablo's field positioning. It's all about where you are on the field and how fast you can get where you need to be and how much boost you have. And they were in the right places. And the demo is, like I said, it's really what pulled that together for them.
And one thing I've noticed, too, is that Indiana doesn't, I guess the word is, I wouldn't say waste, but they don't use unnecessary boosts, if that makes any sense. Like,
definitely.
They're not, we see the Saints often, whether it be Spoods or Ramen, take an air carry, burn all 100 boosts, and then wait for that second player. Whereas Indiana has been good at taking these slow carries on the ground, passing it back and forth between, and by the end of it, you don't have one player with 0 boosts and one player with 100. You've got 2 players working around 50 to 60, and it gives them so much more opportunities in the crease. But talk about opportunities for Christian as Spoods sets up that pass. Christian finds the angle that he's been looking for all series.
Yeah, that was a gorgeous setup by Spoods, and that's a goal that Saints need. They only got 1 minute and 24 seconds left here, or the series is done. They need another goal and possibly even 2. Oh, but Tide is going to put that in right off the faceoff. I'm not sure if that was just a bad bounce. Yeah, that was a horribly unlucky bounce for the Saints. Kind of got pinched between the 2 Saints cars on a double commit. Right off the wall, bounced right behind all 3 defenders, and Tide was able to put that home.
Too. He read that immediately.
He did.
Sent it right towards that Saints zone, knew that ball was going to be bouncing off the wall, and is right there to make that goal happen. Now the Saints, 1:13 to make 2 goals happen, maybe even 3 if Tide's going to keep getting shots like that.
Yeah, we almost had a repeat of the last face-off there, but Spoods was luckily able there to stop it. I think Spoods was off getting boost on the last face-off. I think that's why he got caught on the side there, but with 1 minute left, Saints are down by 2, and they need to push hard here and bring it home.
Yeah, it's not impossible. You've got 45 seconds to work with just about, but IU, like we've been talking about, just playing this team game perfectly. All 3 members so critical to the inner workings of this team, to the results that we're seeing on screen right now. As Saints start to get desperate. You can see it in their play. You can see it in these wide open nets. Nobody to follow that one up. It's 4-1 Indiana. I'm going to say it. You've secured the game.
Yeah, no, the Saints were really, really trying to get a goal there. You could tell they were kind of forgetting about defense a bit. That's what they had to do. They only have 30 seconds to get 2 goals. So, yeah, I think that's going to wrap up the series. Unless Saints can get a goal right off the face-off with a crazy unlucky bounce, maybe do that twice more, I think that's going to be the end of Game 3 in the series here.
Yeah, at this point, essentially just waiting out the timer, just waiting out that clock. Christian is able to secure 17 seconds to work with, 2 goals. I mean, there is a world, don't get me wrong. There is a world where this happens, but...
Yeah, it's not unheard of. It's not unheard of. It's just very, very unlikely. But the Saints, if they come out swinging here, we could see another one right off the bat. Spoods is going to send that to the middle. Raman's going to get that dumped in the end. That's exactly what they need. Can they get something going here? No. Unfortunately, Pablo's going to send that to the middle, and they're only going to have 6 seconds here.
They get a demo, but Biggie's back up. Now you can just send 3 players into the crease. Stop worrying about that. Now, game is over. Series is over. That is a 3-0 for Indiana University. The Saints heading down to the losers bracket. IU moving forward to, I believe that's winners finals, actually, if I'm not mistaken there. And then after that, winner of that moves on to grands, but we've got lowers to play out. We're going to send it to a quick little break. We'll figure out who our next opponent is, exactly when that next lower bracket game is going to be. But for now, the Saints, we talked about having that 2 life, that extra insurance policy there. IU snatch that.
It's unfortunate they had to burn it up so quickly, but it's nice that they do have that to fall back on. So hopefully they can turn it around in the losers bracket, and we'll see some winning games of Rocket League here coming up soon.